Okay, let's talk about Ohtani, this money saga. It breaks yesterday, and here's my thing of how I feel about Ohtani. First off, let me just throw this out there. I think he did it. That's number one. Okay. I think he 100% was involved. And you can fight me on it. You can tell me that I'm wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. Look, my brother, God rest his soul, I love my brother to death. My brother didn't have access to my bank account. Now, I don't have millions of dollars like Ohtani, but I mean, he didn't have access to my bank account. I mean, tell me how an interpreter is going to have access to this guy's account. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Not to mention, when the story first came out, it was Ohtani who paid the guy's debts for him. That's what the story was. That was the initial reaction. And we all know about reactions. The initial reaction is usually the correct reaction or the truth. And that was the reaction. Boom. I paid his debt for him. Okay, good friend. If they would have just left it at that, there would have been, I don't think there would have been that big of a problem. They would say, hey, man, why are you paying this guy's gambling debt? Why are you, sending it directly from your account? Why wouldn't you transfer it to his account to pay? But okay. But then they come back and they say, well, hold on a second. Hold on. Actually, this guy stole money from me. They stole the money. He stole it to pay off his debt. Huh? And the part that I don't like is they're trying to say because the guy doesn't speak great English that his interpreter was able to take advantage of him. I don't buy that for even a half of a second. I mean, because first off, the bank is the bank. He doesn't have to have his money in a place, or let me just say this. Maybe he shouldn't have his money in a place if he doesn't understand the language. For instance, if I lived in Japan and I was getting paid from an employer in Japan, I could still keep my money in Bank of America or an American bank where if I needed to call them, I could speak to them. I could do that. You're going to tell me Ohtani had all this money in an account with somebody where he doesn't speak the language? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. People on TikTok are saying he should be banned. Yeah, if they find out, absolutely. The Dodgers have to be hating this because all the money that they were going to make on merchandising, ticket sales, all this money, it's all come to a halt. Hell, I got word today that they've suspended all Ohtani merchandises through Major League Baseball. Well, that's interesting. Why would they do that? Why would Major League Baseball do that if they didn't think he was guilty? Or if they don't know that he's guilty? That's all I'm saying, people. I think he 100% did it and he got caught. The guy gambles. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad person, but the rules are the rules. And I know there's a lot of you out there that's saying, it's not that big a deal. He gambled on some games. It wasn't baseball. The problem is if you allow somebody to do that, first off, where's the stretch? You gamble on football, basketball, soccer. How far are you away from gambling from baseball? I'm just saying. How far are you away from gambling from baseball? And who's to say you don't even have to be a degenerate gambler. I'm just saying, you bet on football, you bet on basketball, you bet on soccer. Well, when those things aren't going on, what else is going on? Baseball. You don't bet on baseball? Where's the stretch? You have to keep some part of the integrity of this, people. I'm not saying it's that big of a deal to bet. But you know what? There's certain things that you have to sacrifice if you're going to make millions of dollars and play in a league. For instance, for me and you, If our job said, hey, you can either work here and make this money, or you can gamble and you can't work here. Either you would find another place of employment that will allow you to gamble, or you just wouldn't gamble. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So I don't have any sympathy for these guys that are getting caught gambling. I have no sympathy for you because you know the rules and nobody's forcing you to play baseball. Like, he's not being forced to play baseball. He doesn't have to play, and he could gamble all he wants. But if the rules for Major League Baseball say you can't gamble to be in our league, then period, point blank, you can't gamble to be in our league. That's the end of it. And I think people looking at it the other way, you're wrong. And I have no problems telling you that you're wrong. You're just wrong. It's their league. They make the rules. You don't have to like the rules, but you also don't have to be involved. You don't have to play like football. They say you can't gamble on anything, anywhere, anytime. I think that's terrible. Great. Don't play in our league. Don't participate. I mean, nobody's forcing you. Then that's my whole thing. Nobody is forcing anybody. And then we're talking about, I know people are comparing it to Pete Rose. Look, Pete Rose was gambling on baseball. He admitted it. And Pete Rose was gambling on his team. He admitted that. I mean, so, and if you're going to try to tell me that Pete Rose didn't do that while he was playing, you are lying to yourself. He absolutely did. He absolutely did. And no, Pete Rose was a degenerate gambler. That's how he was different. And he admitted so. So that was the difference. Pete Rose is calling in bets from the clubhouse phone. Lord have mercy. That's a degenerate gambler. And he admitted he was. It's not the same, no. It's not the same. So I think it's bad. This is going to end up being bad. We have not heard the last of this. So, and my man Bill Kernan, he thinks the interpreter being his best friend that he's fallen on the sword. I think so too. Drayton Nay says Pete Rose didn't do it as a player. You're lying. Stop it. Just stop. Don't tell. Pete Rose is gambled on everything. But while he was playing, no, I'm not going to bet on baseball. Once I'm done and I'm the manager where I really control the game, that's when I'm going to start betting on baseball. Please shut up. Come on, man. Are we that naive? Are we really that naive? Gee, Christmas. Jiminy Christmas. There's zero evidence. Other than him admitting it, you're right. Zero evidence. But you guess what? Pete Rose is banned from baseball. My man Drayton. Pete Rose is banned from baseball. He didn't get banned for doing nothing. So, zero evidence. Get out of here. Lord have mercy. There's always one, isn't there? There's always somebody that will, no matter what you do or say, they are going to take the other side no matter what. No matter what. Common sense somehow never comes into their mind. It's just, nope. No, he didn't do it. He never gambled as a player. Never. I know he gambled on everything else his entire life, his entire adult life, on everything. But for somehow we're going to say, nope, he didn't bet on baseball while he was playing. He just waited until he could really control the game. Shut up. Jiminy Christmas. Just stop. Glove didn't fit. I love it. Yeah, this Ohtani thing, man, we're just seeing the beginning of this. It's just the beginning. So it's just the beginning. This is a bad look. I mean, baseball already struggled for fans. It already struggled. Now you're going to have the biggest star be part of a gambling scheme? This will crush baseball. I mean, this will literally crush baseball. Yes, West Virginia fan. You are exactly right. A nightmare for baseball. I mean, oh my good. And you already know. They already have it. Major League Baseball has gone to this interpreter and said, look, you have to fall on the sword here. Now, we're going to set aside $50 million for you, but you have to fall on this sword. If that requires you going to a federal prison for 18 months, then you're going to have to do it. But we will give you $50 million if you do this for us. So, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They are literally, I mean, the cover up started, what was it, 30 minutes after Ohtani's first statement, where he said he paid off the debt. All of a sudden, you gather with a bunch of lawyers and Major League Baseball. Oh no, the interpreter stole it. And then the interpreter's going around singing like a songbird that just, yeah, I did it. He had nothing to do with it. I did it all on my own. But you know what? The one thing that he's never said, the interpreter didn't come out and say, yeah, I stole his money. He didn't come out and say that, did he? You haven't heard him say, yeah, I stole his money. I took the money without his knowledge. You haven't heard him say that. You said that he's paid off the debts. He's not responsible. But you haven't heard him say, hey, I stole the money from him to pay off my bookie. Because again, sports gambling in California is illegal. Sports betting, it's illegal. So they were going through a bookie. Whew. And they better be careful, because when there's the bookie, that means there's the mob. And you want to go snitching on the mob, good luck with that. Good luck with that. That's all. I mean, I don't know anything about the mob from what I've heard. That's all I've heard. And what I heard, I mean, movies. Well, they don't make movies about stuff that's not real, that can't actually happen or hasn't happened before. So be careful. Be careful. So Ohtani had nothing to do with the interpreter gambling. Really, Austin? You know that? Did he tell you that? So that's all I'm saying. I mean, how do you know that it was the interpreter that was even gambling? I don't believe it for a second that it was. I think it was Ohtani that was gambling. So that's all I'm saying. And that's what I believe. And you're not going to change my mind. Period. End of story. Because you don't come out with two totally separate stories on what happened within 30 minutes of each other if you're telling the truth. I mean, I'm not going to say to the media, yeah, I paid off his debt, and then 30 minutes later come back and say, no, I didn't. He stole it from me. Tell me why that happened. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And then we got somebody in here telling me I'm a bad sports broadcaster, yet they're on their phone watching me. So I must be doing something right, because you're in here watching me. Boom, boom, boom. And the Angels may know too. The Angels may have known too. I don't know. I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy. So, ooh, that's why he got married. So she gets his money. I don't know. You're not going to convince me that Ohtani wasn't involved. There's zero reason for him to come out with those two different stories. There's zero reason. My man Ben Tatum said over on YouTube says that Pete Rose is watching the story close. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. And you know Pete Rose is going to have something to say. They can't find Pete Rose because, first of all, he's somewhere, gambling somewhere. But they're going to find Pete Rose and put a microphone in his face, and he's going to say he needs to be banned for life. You know it's coming, people. Y'all know it's coming. You know it's coming. So, but you're right. Ohtani's involved, but Major League Baseball is going to do everything in their power to cover this thing up. I mean, they already did. They already did. So it's crazy. It's crazy. but they are going to do everything they can to stop it. But it's just the tip of the iceberg, people. Just the tip of the iceberg.